Hey guys, thanks so much for stopping by. So today I will be doing a skincare review, and this is a K-beauty or Korean beauty review. This is from Mizon or Mizon, and this is called the Original Skin Energy Placenta 45. So I've been looking around to see where to get this product, and everywhere I look, this is not the most popular of the products. I don't know why. There are different kinds of this kind, I forgot, like, it's not a serum, kind of like a serum, I guess. And this is only 30 ml or 1.01 fluid ounce. There's a lot of different kinds of these from this brand, Mizon or Mizon, and they have the snail, they have the collagen, they have one or two more extra things, I think whitening and something else. And I believe those are more popular than this one. And this is what the bottle looks like, if you want to check it out. So I went into a rabbit hole. I had a lot of skin issues postpartum, and if you don't understand what postpartum, it literally means right after being pregnant, so after giving birth. That also synonymous to that. So postpartum, 5 minutes after you've given birth to your child, you're already 5 minutes postpartum. That's what it means. Okay, so after, being postpartum, my skin was just healing. Or I did. I had this beautiful skin. Sensitive though, sensitive skin, but very glowing when I was pregnant. When I hit postpartum, all of that just really did a 180, and I felt and looked haggard, tired. I felt 1 to 2 decades older. I had wrinkles. My skin looked duller. My skin looked even more uneven. My skin just was really emotionally and mentally draining me, because it was making me feel unattractive. It was making me feel making me feel like, I don't know, just not public presentable in a sense. Like every time I would look in a mirror, I just felt unattractive. I felt down, I felt sad, borderline depressed. So at a certain point, when being a new mom, after, I don't know, maybe almost around my son being a year old, that's when I was able to really focus and be like, you know what, I'm gonna look for some skincare. And I mean, when my son was still even an infant, around 6 months, I was already going into it, and all of those just didn't work. And I'm like, you know what? There's so much hype on K-beauty. There's so much hype in Korean beauty. And I never really jumped on the bandwagon. I really assumed and thought it was one of those like a phase, like this is popular right now, and then it's gonna sizzle because it's not really what it claims to be. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you know what I've got to lose? My skin's already dull. It's uneven. It looks haggard and crusty and old, and it just, I felt, it made me feel really awful and embarrassed. And I felt like that every day. I felt dirty because I'm taking care of my baby. I'm the only caretaker for my baby, really. When my husband is home, I'm probably doing 80 to 90%. So especially when you're a new mom, you got a newborn or an infant, you're covered in all sorts of stuff. So just add that on there, and your hormones are still getting regulated. Your hormones are still healing. It's still healing right now because I'm not reaching the 2-year mark. But when it's fresher, when you're freshly more close to when you just given birth, your hormones are, at the worst at the time, because it's trying to heal you. It's trying to regulate. Everything is trying to do that. And so, I was getting really like down and sad, and I just felt miserable and all that. And then I stumbled upon this. Just to be quite honest, the first few weeks of me using this, I really thought I was just gonna toss this in the garbage, because I really didn't notice much. It wasn't, I think, until maybe it wasn't weeks. Maybe it wasn't until week 1, week 2, week 3, around that time frame, where I noticed my skin wasn't getting like a crazy glow, but it was not as it didn't look as crusty. I'm exaggerating with the crusty, by the way. It's not, it didn't look, I mean, I had videos through that time, but it didn't look as haggard and as matured as it used to be. And I feel like this is really potent because I also did try the cream version. And this, I feel like, is probably 5 times more potent because it is just liquid. It has the consistency of water, but not really as watery, if that makes any sense. So I have been using this twice a day, in the morning and before I go to bed, and over clean skin. I use this as a toner. I do not put this in a cotton swab. I put it on my fingers and I spread it all over my face, and the excess I put on my neck, of course, and over here in my chest. And sometimes I even put in the back of my neck, and then sometimes I put it on my arms if there is excess. But I do not put too much from the dropper on my hands just so I can spread it all over my body. I am not Beyonce, so I'm not going to do that. So I've noticed that my skin, it wasn't overnight, but I have noticed my skin was rejuvenated, tighter, more even toned, I would say, more youthful. It never gave me like a glow just from this product alone, because this is not the only product that I'm using. I'm using other things too, but I always make it to a point that I will use one product for a whole week before I at least several days, almost a week, I introduce a different one to my skin. And we're just using this one that was new. What I have noticed was my skin, it just felt rejuvenated, like reborn and fresh, and it never gave me a glow yet again. The wrinkles on my forehead, it used to be really long, and it used to be 2, and then it started to get on 3 before I started using this. And when I used this, and I think I was already about close to a month in, I noticed that from 3 it became 2, and then it became a 1, and it became from here to here. And if it was like, let's say from a scale of 1 to 5, the deepness was a 4, it became a 2. So that, to me, that's a really great improvement. And no matter what, I was looking at other products that had placenta and all, because after I used this one, I'm like, this is probably like the fountain of youth. This really helped my skin so much, and in such a short time, to me, that I feel like this really is the fountain of youth. Like, you can spend $200 on skincare, you can spend $200 on cosmetic surgery that might not be invasive, and be rejuvenated in that, or how many $100 you're gonna do that. But I feel like this definitely penetrates deeper, and it is more long lasting, I think, just because you're using it on a consecutive amount of time, and you're making habitual that you are using on a daily basis, aside from going to like some spas that do anti-aging and stuff, and they got like the huge machines. Yeah, the results might be instant, but how long does it really last? Do you know what I mean? Like, because you're using it every single day, and for me, I use it twice a day, which I do recommend you do that. I feel like you actually achieve it in a longevity standpoint. And this is not very expensive. It's very affordable, and all the links are going to be down below, and where I get it, and where the cheapest place you can get it. And I really 100% recommend this. 1 out of 5 stars. I will give this a 6. It is really good. It has no scent to me. Let me just double check. No scent at all. Again, it has the texture and the consistency of water, but a little bit thicker than water, if that makes a little bit of sense. So when you do put it on your hands or your palm, make sure you know the consistency, because the first time that I did use it, I didn't know it was going to be that watery, and some of it did spill out. So I really felt bad about that. At the time I didn't, because I didn't know how the product was going to work. But afterwards, when I was almost out of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I spilled like this amount before, because I didn't know the consistency. So just be very, very careful with that part, because you don't want to waste it. And a little bit goes a long way. I don't use a whole dropper. I would say probably between a third to a half. And that already covers my face, my neck, and I rub it also up here in my upper part of my chest. Sometimes I put it in the back of my neck if there's still a little bit residue on my hands. And sometimes I do put it on my hands. I put it on my arms if it's still a little bit more, especially on my elbows, because those are usually the parts that when you reach a certain age, it tends to look a little bit more wrinkly than others. So I do that. And again, 1 out of 5 stars. I give this a 6. I love it so much. This is my first bottle, and it will not be my last. I love this. I'm on my second bottle, and I believe I will probably get a third bottle even before I reach half of it, just because there was a time that I wanted to purchase a second bottle and it was out of stock. And I don't really want to risk it, in which I won't be able to use this for a few days or a few weeks. I don't really want to risk it. So I started a new one very recently. I'll probably get a new one in a few days just to have a backup, just to make sure. And when that's open, I'm going to get another one and another one, another one. That's how much I love this. So if you guys have any questions, suggestions, you want to chit chat, you have never tried this, or you want to try, you want to share your experience, let me know down below. I love hearing from you guys all the time. And I don't think I mentioned this. I put this in every single part of my face, including my eyelids, where I had my crow's feet, underneath my eyes. And I think this also did help with my crow's feet. It also, it helped with my crow's feet. I'm not sure about my eyelids or my under eyes, but it could, but if it did, I didn't see that big of a difference. But the big difference that I think it did help, and I'm using an eye gel, is this did help with the crow's feet. And I feel like this kind of helps here too, because I was getting that parentheses line, or it just kind of felt like it didn't really bounce back the way it should anymore. And the lines on my forehead, it really helped that area a lot. So thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll see you guys again next time. Thanks so much for watching my video. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and the bell so you are notified every single time I do upload a new video. I do also have 2 other channels. Please do check that out as well. Subscribe and watch my videos there as well. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, please leave them down below. I love hearing from you guys all the time.